If I could go back and I'm there and I'm talking to young me, little me, I would tell that little me,
Grow a mullet.
tacos are going to be a huge part of your future.
Welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to local music wherever it may be found, including my guest. And my guest is a Vegas rapper who's in it for life since the age of 8. He's been rapping. His music is inspired by influences like Onyx, Rakim, Slick Rick, Wu-Tang, Nas, Tupac, Biggie, and more. He's a rapper, a lover, taco enthusiast, and a teenage heartthrob. And his latest single, Day Rights, is out now. Please welcome to the channel, Snap Murphy. Say hi, Snap.
How's it going, Room 6? It's great to be a part of this podcast and to be here today as a local celebrity.
Welcome. You got anything to drink tonight?
You know what? I'm just sticking to my H2O personally. Got some water right next to me.
There you go. I've got H2O too. It's frozen, solid, surrounded by filtered grains.
Oh, I like it. Sounds like my kind of water.
Room 6 whiskey. Hey. I'm at home, so I don't have to worry about stumbling home. So, by the way, if you want to be like Snap and be featured on the channel, whether reviewed, interviewed, or both, hit me up using my email address down below, or by clicking the Room 6 social media link. That's where you'll find all the ways you can support what I do here, and also what I'm up to. And what the heck, go ahead and click that like, share, and subscribe button. All the YouTube things. Speaking of which, you've been doing a lot of shows lately. What's coming up here, like in the future?
Well, I'm right now currently working on getting out to Minnesota in the Midwest. Nothing quite lined up just yet. I have some stuff prior to this probably airing, but with July and August, I have Minnesota. I want to be probably looking at Kasota, Minnesota, and the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. So if anybody's out there, by the time this is coming out, it should be locked in. We've been working on it for quite some time now. So that's like where my biggest fan base actually is. Even though I'm a Vegas local, I have a lot of followers and following in Minnesota. So shout out to those guys out there.
Right on. You betcha.
Minnesota, nice. I love them. They're just great people.
I've heard that from a number of not just hip hop artists, but a number of acts that have been on the channel who say like the Midwest and especially kind of in the northern Midwest, they love anytime you're from out of town, your live music. Yes, let's go. And it's always funny. It's like one of the things about Vegas, for those of you that don't know, it's very oversaturated in local music, which is you would think is a good thing. But if you want to make money as an artist here, leave town for a while, take a tour.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah, I tell everybody that. That's where, especially nowadays, where it's like it's not like where you could sell CDs and cassette tapes back even in my day early on where, now it's you make your money on touring. People will buy that if you're out in other cities, even if they don't even play those kind of forms of media anymore,
Right.
But I love going out. I love hitting out of town when I can. I plan on going to San Diego sometime this summer and reaching out to a couple other places too in the California area and surrounding areas, Utah, maybe Colorado. But I definitely been working really hard in the Midwest as well. So I'm hoping that by the time this comes out, people are looking up me at snapmurphy.com and looking at those tour dates.
Right on. Speaking of snapmurphy.com, all his social media is going to be down in the description, including snapmurphy.com. So check that out and see what he's up to, and maybe go see him live. Tell him Room 6 sent you.
Yes.
Ting. Right on. So I have a few usual interview questions, and Room 6, OGs know what's coming. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask a quick question. You went from Chicago to Indiana to Vegas.
So I grew up in Indiana, actually, Northwest Indiana. It gets confusing because I tell people I'm from Chicago or Northwest Indiana. It's just because it's like Henderson and Las Vegas. And so they're so similar. But if you're not from here and you say, oh, I live in Henderson, oh, well, how far is that? Where's that at? You know, same thing if I'm from Hammond, Indiana, people are like, well, where the hell is that? Are you on a farm? I'm like 30 minutes from downtown Chicago. I'm practically a suburb. So it gets to be confused. But I moved from there to Las Vegas, 1997. February.
Right on. I was confused because during my research, I just all this time I thought you were Hoosier boy, and I saw Chicago. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
Chicago's hometown, and
Yeah.
now I that makes sense. So you lied. Got it.
It's just yeah. It's like people do that. Like, oh, you're not from Chicago. You're from Indiana. I'm like, yeah. It's so confusing. I got to the point where I would tell people Hammond, Indiana, so much like where, what, and I got tired of it. I'm like, I'm just from like outside of Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Like, so it just like became easier for me to say.
Right on. Hey, by the way, stick around. We're going to be seeing a music video from Snap after the interview, and I'd love it if you drop in the comments what you think about it and what your favorite Snap Murphy song is. So, let's talk. This is one of my first usual interview question. Okay, let's talk earliest musical influence, and by that I mean, what is that moment you remember going, "I want to do that"?
Whew, yeah. I feel like when I think about that, because I've thought about that question before, I just remember bits and pieces of like things that really inspired me, and I'm not sure which one came first, but listening to like the Ghetto Boys and me being a little kid and growing up in an environment where my two older brothers were. My mom was a bartender. My two older brothers were like my dad because my dad wasn't around. And I was stuck not watching cartoons at 7, but watching Yo MTV raps and watching MTV. So I was exposed to music video to start. And I remember Ghetto Boys mind playing tricks on me when you had Bushwick Bill. I'm like, who's this person that's my size, rapping? And I fell in love with Bushwick Bill first, but then I really, as I kind of like I didn't start rapping necessarily then, but I liked hip hop. And then I just noticed the real inspiration was, I think, all of those times of just watching all kinds of music videos with my brothers kind of being a little rough around the edges and just kind of living a lifestyle at the time of like kind of how rap artists were portrayed. Either like you're growing up in a rough area, my brothers were in gangs. They were through all kinds. And me, I was the little brother. Like I always just grew up influenced by whatever I saw, and it was just music videos. That's where it mainly started. I think that might just be the best, answer I can overall give. But Bone Thugs, I started really, really wanting to rap around Bone Thugs, and when I moved I started writing at 8. My fairy verse writings, but moving to Vegas from Vegas or to from where I was at to Vegas, I remember listening to my Walkman to Bone Thugs record like album, the 1999, and just wanting to write my own raps and it's just never been. I never looked back since. I just fell in love more and more with the culture and the music as I got older.
Right on. The good old Walkman. You see, kids, there used to be these things called audio cassettes.
Yes. For all you listeners out there that are probably younger than me, you might not know what it is, but I promise you can find them on something called eBay, or you can find them. You just have to look them up, and you can see them like if it's a piece of art in a museum.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh yeah,
So that leads me to my next question, which is, can we talk about Poets Only Live Once?
yeah, absolutely. My original name. I used to go by the rap name of Polo, which initially, when I got the name, was when I was in 8th grade. My first passion, other than music, was basketball. I always loved to play basketball, and I wanted to be a pro basketball player. And every day after school in 8th grade, when I had to go to basketball practice, I had 2 girls, one on the left arm, one on the right arm, that would escort me to practice. And my friend Jamal, that was on my team, he goes, "Man, I'm going to start calling you Polo." And I said, "Polo? What is that for?" And he goes, "Players only live once." So everybody started calling me my nickname, going from Matt to my very first nickname, Polo, in school. everyone called me that from 8th grade and 9th grade. And when I was starting to rap in other schools in other city, like, and doing stuff then. So like I was Polo all the way from the time then in 9th grade till, or 8th grade, to, about 32 years old. And that is when I became reborn into well, actually, I'm skipping a part here. I apologize. So I went from players only live once to, as I got to be in about, you know, college, I was like, I just don't want to go by players only live once. I'm not really a player. I'm just like a really nice guy that loves to write hip hop music and play basketball or play game. I'm just like, I'm more of a poet. I was like, I'm a poet that only lives once. So that's how Poets Only Live Once became in existence. And then, as fast forward when I got to be about 32, trying to market my name Polo. There's a guy named Ralph Lauren out there. He kind of runs the show. So people Googling Polo or going, and I'm like, you know what? I just have to. I'm getting, and then I was in a point where I was going to get an investment deal, and I just started really taking it seriously as a part of my business, and I wanted to be able to come up with something that was more original, which is Snap Murphy.
Nice. That Ralph Lauren, he's a little famous, but
He is that guy with the horse and the logo. I mean, I can't live up to it yet with the snapping fingers. One day though.
right. Why Snap though?
So Snap comes
This
from
was
multiple different
yeah.
reasonings.
This is pre Thanos, by the way.
Pre Thanos, that's exactly right. Snap, showing negativity and positivity, an acronym for being my authentic self, of telling people that I think a lot of rappers gloat. They want you to see the money, they want you to see the girls, they want you to see the nice cars, the jewelry. And me, I will tell you like, hey, I got a record deal, things are going great, but I'll also tell you when, hey, and it's not negative, but it's the truth. It's like, I got $20 to my name and I got to figure out rent this month. And I pushed so hard to have people come to my show. No one came. To, hey, I'm at Willie Nelson's teaching the top athletes how to rap right now. Like, I like to give people the good and the bad and everything in between, and just to be authentic, and so they can be part of the journey with me. That was a big part of Snap, but it was also a side passion of mine, how I really thought of the name. When Instagram first started, I would take my phone, me and my buddy Josh, who's a phenomenal photographer, shout out to Josh Pacheco, but we would go out and I started joking around with them like, hey, you could call me Snap Murphy, and I was taking pictures. So I was like, you know what, that kind of has a tone to it, but how would that fit into my name? So then I came up with the acronym, and I also thought of how I rap so fast. I can really rap in what they call chop. It's like I could rap really fast, and some people will say, man, he's snapping, so that's another phrase of it all. But then, because I am a poet that only lived once, I also wanted to have a translation to that, and like a rebirth through Snap Murphy. So when you are rapping, people might throw their hands in the air, throw your hands in the air, wave like you just don't care, right? But me, I like to have people put their snaps in the air, because when you see poets, when they're doing open mics and spoken word, it's more of an audience that listens. And if you enjoy what you're listening to, then out of respect, you'll snap. So that's where I kind of reflected that being the poet side of it. And all of it just felt right to me. So, my logo is a snapping fingers. And it's also just kind of like, oh, I got an idea. And I always think, and I'm really good at freestyling. And so there's just so much influence behind that name. And then Murphy, of course, is my last name. And we need to snap the whole stigmatism of it's Murphy's Law and bad luck. Well, snap out of it, as I shall say.
Right on. I forgot that Snap was also an acronym, or yeah, an acronym for that. You had told me that in the past. If you haven't done it already, I think you need to come out with an album called Murphy's Law, or a single.
Right, right. I know. I definitely haven't done it yet, and I definitely need to do it.
Right on. Real quick, can I see your fingers? Interesting. So you definitely have, over time, moved away from having the rings.
Well, it's a performance thing. It's like a wrestler, right? Like when I go
Right.
on, I'm not going to be Hulk Hogan talking on a chat in my yellow speedos and shirt off. I might be in a black T-shirt and a hat or something. But when I go on stage, that's when I kind of have a whole persona to me.
I understand, and I was just kidding. I was like, I wonder if he's wearing them. But I also know that you aren't wearing them for the bling. You're wearing them to remind you when you look when you're holding the microphone and looking at the rings.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good, good. Yep, I have my different rings mean different things, but the most important being probably one my mom gave me that I always hold when you hold that microphone, and I had one from my grandmother, and unfortunately, I did a show at the Hard Rock at the Joint at the time, lost that ring. It was for my grandma gave me, but it's just part of like who I fight for, and reminds me when I'm on that mic and when I look down at those rings it's just like a reminder of why I make my music, the inspiration behind it all.
I like that a lot, actually. I know some artists have like guitar. If they're playing guitar, they might have their family pictures on the back of their guitar
Yeah.
or some motto or something. Right on. So before we move on, we're gonna. I'm getting a little empty here. My room 6 whiskey, and I don't know about you. It's starting to heat up here in Vegas. I'm gonna take we're gonna take a little break, little refill, and I hear a message from future Josh here. Okay, so see you in a minute.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Thanks, Josh from the past. You know what I love most about things like guitars? The engineering. All these parts separately do nothing, but together they make something capable of inspiring and motivating creative thought and emotional content.
We need emotional content.
That's why I love U-Gears. Their amazing 3D self-assembly models are fun to assemble as well as educational. They can also serve as decorative pieces. Although the kits come with clear step-by-step instruction, they can also be used as puzzles. Inspired by steampunk fantasy, there's a clear view of all the moving components, including gears and pendulums, and it creates a unique, unforgettable, and fascinating look at everyday and not so everyday machinery. To top it all off, 10% of every purchase is being donated to the people of Ukraine who have been affected by the current conflict. Just for watching this video and for being part of Room 6, and for a limited time, you can use my affiliate link down in the description to get 10% off your order. Just enter coupon code SHOP10 at checkout. Plus, you'll be helping out the channel. Thanks to U-Gears for being a sponsor, and let's get back to the show, shall we? We're back, and if that sponsor spot interested you at all, please consider clicking the link down below. You'll save some money, I'll make some money. It's a win-win, baby. And if you're looking for a sponsor opportunity with Room 6, hit me up. Address is down there in the description. Now then, Snapple Murphy. I kid. So you've performed a lot, both as Polo and as Snap Murphy. Also, I think you did. You were part of like a collective or a group of rappers for a little bit, right?
Yes, back in about 2005.
Right. So, what is your favorite show memory of performing? And I mean that one that you're just you pull out at a party that it's your this one time, and it could be where things went off the rails, or you checked off this is my hip hop star wish list, or just something crazy happened, or something crazy good. What do you got?
Yeah, Brooklyn Bowl. That's a tough question, by the way, because there has been so many shows that are so special to me. But if I have to pick one, I would say it's because I did this show at the Brooklyn Bowl where my mom got to be in the crowd, see that show, and I had a sea of lovely ladies that were out in the crowd because it was for an R&B singer by the name of Somo. I never even knew who the guy was. This opportunity was thrown to me by by my friend Max Adler at the time, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, do you want to open up for this guy Somo?" I was so thrilled and just so grateful, because when you're in Las Vegas and you're wanting to do big shows because you've done all the tiny bars, you want to be on the best stages and the biggest stages, and that's one of my favorite in the whole city is Brooklyn Bowl, and I've performed it 3 times. But this one specifically, I remember being the kid. I'm going to take you back here and have everybody and all the viewers and listeners out here to just imagine this. When you have acne in high school, maybe you didn't have acne, but this is just where I was at. And I'm on a school bus with the headphones over my head, listening to that Walkman that we were talking about earlier. And I'm hearing my music. And I remember I was shy. I just I didn't know how to approach girls that I liked in school. I was just like, I really wanted a girlfriend at the time. But I remember writing down, as players only live once at the time, that I'm going to have one day all the girls scream my name on a stage, and it'll be my way of all the times that I was too afraid to talk or shy or just to feel confident within myself, that they would all just, give me a shout out. So here we are in this moment back in 2018, I want to say. Nope, actually, it was 2013. This one. So I'm on stage and I see all these lovely ladies. I mean, 90 out of 100. It was just like 90 women to every 100 like people, like 10 men, 90 women. It was just like, and I'm on stage and I'm like, I don't know if I really belong here, but I do belong here because I manifested this. So I had them. I said, to all the ladies out there, I told them the story that I just told you guys here on this podcast, and I just want to hear all of you scream my name one time, or can I get a "I love Snap Murphy"? And you can hear them all. I love Snap Murphy, and it was just like it made me smile because it was just like, man, I remember being on the bus so many years earlier, knowing that this day was going to happen. And I did a great show. Somebody came up to my mom and told me that my music saved their life. And like, for the fact that my mom saved my life for so many years, and just why, because she's been my inspiration to make it, and just the woman that I love and just appreciate more than anything, that to have someone, and me and my brothers were always in and out of trouble, just to like have somebody come up to her and say, hey, your son like saved my life. It was just so empowering of what I could do for that person, but also it made me feel so good for my mom to hear that, because it's like I always wanted her to know she had one son that was going to try to get all the accomplishments and all the good stuff in our family for all the trouble that my brothers have put her through at the time when they were younger. And so for her to see that, and me losing my mom, and a couple years ago, it was just probably one of the special moments that I look back at, of that, and taking her to the green room and giving her the treatment. Like I felt like a local celebrity, and people screaming my name. And for me to have that, and coming from Northwest Indiana and outside of Chicago, and being able to be on that moment in that stage with all those people, it's just something that I can never forget, and that I will forever be grateful for. That if I at least got that far in music, I did something that was extremely important, and that was to save somebody's life through my words, and to also just have that experience with my mother.
That's incredible. And yeah, how do you top that? That's a tough bar to beat, man. But
It's
hey,
tough.
yeah.
It's tough.
Do you know who that person was that said that to your mom?
No, I didn't. And, I have been very fortunate in my life since then to have multiple people reach out to me, and something that's really, I think this would be really great for all the viewers to hear too, is that when I went through the loss of my mother recently, a couple years ago, I was so tired, and I thought I was going to give music up, because she was the inspiration to make it. And now I lost my inspiration. I lost the fire. I was hurting inside. And then this girl that I am very good friends with, her name's Nicole. She messages me, and she tells me that her son has some issues with his brain, and has to have MRIs every week on his brain to see what's going on with him. And he wasn't doing good. And all he asks his mom, because he gets to listen to his music while doing MRIs, is that, can we put on Snap Murphy? Because if he can get through what he went through, I'm going to get through what I'm going through. And to hear a kid or a teenager, to say that, it really just broke me down, and it made me realize so much about why I make music and why I have to keep pushing, because it's so much other than just having my voice. It's being the voice for others, and to be the healing for others out there that can hear my music. And that's why I'll never stop. There's times where, like, a lot of people out there that make music that maybe want to hang it up, but you know what? I can't do it. I have to. It's like working out. Nobody wants to do the hard stuff, but it comes with good results, whether it's your health, and with music, it's been my mental health. It's to be able to be grateful, and to just acknowledge that I am a voice for my community and for other people in the world. And hopefully that will make something when I'm older in life, when I'm on my deathbed, that I can look back at and say, hey, no matter how hard things were, those people will remember what I left this earth for when I'm not here anymore. And that's like I want to be a messenger. I want to be, because I'm so passionate about life. I think that rap is also just a way for me to be able to connect the listeners to the person. And most of my fans are fans of who I am as a person, even sometimes more than the music, because they just relate to you, even if they don't listen to rap. They like me because they just know that I come from a place where it comes from true wanting to be a true artist. And I love the art. I love writing, but I also love to give back to the community by being able to hear somebody be so passionate about his life and his words, and how to take a negative and turn it to a positive.
True. I mean, honestly, that's really inspirational, and I'm happy to hear that. The hip hop game isn't always positive, as you and I both know.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that you can have positive effect like that without all the the money and the hose and everything that you hear a lot in hip hop. That's just like, I mean, gangster rap. I don't understand. It got played out a long time ago, but for some reason it resonated with a lot of people because at the time it was, I want to be mad about something.
It's exactly right. And
Yeah.
you know what? I think that I want to show the people something real quick. It's just, you're not gonna be able to see it, but right here is letters from kids that I teach at school and mentor that are emotionally challenged. And I go to their school and I teach them all things, and they write to me, and it's so empowering, because the one kid was going through some family trouble at home, and they said, "Hey, I'm so sorry," because I visited them 4 times this past year, same class, because I want them to really realize that I'm there for them, not just as like a one-time thing. And so they started writing letters to me after the second time. But so one of the girls couldn't make it. She's having a hard time at home with mom and dad, and she basically said that, "I know you're going through some hard times because you lost your family, but I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and I hope you're okay." And here I am. I'm just like, this is a child that is, that I get to go talk to, and they're going through their tough times, but they're worried about my tough times. And talking to kids as a mentor, I go to a school. My friend is a teacher, and so I go to the school and be able to go talk to the kids, and it's just something that I think I love more than almost anything. Even the performance, my favorite performance is like, it's that being with my mom is so special, but also it's so hard because just talking to children is almost like it's a performance in the sense of I'm so analytical and making sure that I'm using that time to it's not just rap, because I will rap for them. I freestyle rap for them and make it fun for the kids, but I talk to them about life, and I talk to them about staying in school and sticking to education, anti-bullying. I just try to give them the things that maybe the teachers don't teach, and a mentor that that they'll listen to. And so, I just wanted to share those letters because I keep them around me. It's just a reminder of just how grateful I really am. And this is my studio where I'm at. So I like to keep them in the studio as my inspiration.
That is awesome, man. And if you're watching this and you're just having trouble processing life, or you're dealing with those thoughts that are just not leading you down a good road, text 988 and you can actually get help. You can talk to somebody. It's basically a suicide a hotline, but it's also just mental health in general. And if they can't immediately take care of you, they can get you to someone who can. So I that's something that I've been aware of for a while, and I wanted to take this opportunity, since we were talking about it. This is important. It's Mental Health Awareness Month at the time of recording. It's May, but more importantly, it's if you need to talk to somebody, text 988. Text 988.
Thanks for sharing that for the folks out there.
No worries. I'll leave it up for a little bit here. Got a couple more questions, and then we're going to check out that music video. Do we know what song it's going to be for?
Yeah, so the song is called "It's Okay." It is a very serious song, but it's been as this conversation is somewhat gone, but it's also just part of a project that I have been working on and off since the day that my mom passed, called Grief. And So it's one of the singles off of the newest album that I'll be coming out. I'm shooting for December 4th. It's going to be right around that time for a release date. So if you are paying attention and listening to this by July, August, please, there will be a link for pre-saving the order on my website, and just make sure that you guys check it out, because I really feel like it's something to relate with anybody, that you don't have to listen to hip hop or rap, just relate to in life with. It's going to be an amazing, powerful album.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I want to flip the script a little bit here and ask something that may lighten things up a little bit.
Let's do it.
All right. Cool.
Let's do it.
Why is Keith Stone the white trash champion?
So Keith Stone, back in the day, we used to go perform at a spot down on the beautiful Fremont Street here in Las Vegas called the Beauty Bar. And at the Beauty Bar, they would host different kinds of events, and one of the events they had was a white trash party. And so everybody that was going had to dress up as white trash. So I had a cut-off flannel with a white T-shirt with some ketchup stains, like I was at the cookout, and make them like I had like an America like thing written in pen down it with like the buck teeth and the hat. And I had to think to myself, who is this guy? What's this guy's character? You know what? He looks like he sips Keystones, so I'm going to call him Keith Stone.
Nice.
Needless to say, I did win first place. I did win $5 discount at the dollar store that's going to no longer be here anymore. I believe there was KY Jelly that was in there involved, and a PBR, of course, and some other fun party things. So I am the reigning champion of the white trash contest, and it never happened again. So unfortunately, I'm stuck to that for a long time now.
That's hilarious. You need to do a joint with you and Keith Stone.
Yeah, I do. It's just called Keith Stoned. Keith Stoned.
That's awesome. All right. So got one more question. You made it. Yay. And then we're gonna get to that music video. And with that, we're gonna circle back to that earliest musical influence question. Okay.
Sure.
This is the question I ask of all my prey. And I want to know, you've got a time machine. You can go back and talk to little you. Okay, we're going to talk to little you. And really what this is about is like for the new musicians or the aspiring hip hop artists, but just musicians in general. What's one thing that you wish somebody had come back and told you, hey, you're going to need to know this?
If I could go back and I'm there and I'm talking to young me, little me, I would tell that little me,
grow a mullet.
Tacos are going to be a huge part of your future. Tacos are going to be a huge part of your future, so enjoy them now. And
what can I say?
And if for those that don't know, go down the rabbit hole and research it all.
I said in the intro, he's a taco enthusiast. That's
am.
Awesome. All right. Well, I that is the first time anybody's ever referenced tacos when I asked that question. So good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add to that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being on the channel, sir. And
thank you.
And we're gonna check out that music video for. I'm sorry. What was it called again?
It's okay.
It's okay. And we'll see you in the outro. In the meantime, temporarily say goodbye.
Gobble gobble. Later from the half man, half turkey, Snap Murphy.
We'll see you in a bit.
It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's okay, everything's okay. It's okay. I lost my mom and I'm feeling so down. Dark in the clouds, I would talk to the ground. Lost and I'm found, feeling alone but the talk of the town. I struggled with alcohol, struggled with weed. Stuck in my head while I'm dealing with grief. Feel like I'm not good enough to find love, so I'm stuck in my being. Lonely, afraid, I know that these thoughts are just stuck in my head. So many monsters stay under my bed. Tears on a gun that could color me red. What is my life if I'm better off dead? Nobody loved me, I love me instead. I've been alone all my life in my head. Never fit in, feeling depressed. All I know's death. Wishing for family with no family left. I'm vulnerable, using my breath to get this all off of my chest. Not perfect, I'm nervous, I'm worthless, I'm worth it. I work on my purpose, I work through these circuits. My life is a circus, I'm praying in churches and laying my verses and taking this path. Trading my tears for a laugh. Now that I'm sober, I take off this mask and it lasts. It's okay, it's okay, everything's okay. It's okay, everything's okay. It's okay, everything's okay. It's okay, yeah. Mama, I miss you. Grandma, I miss you. My nephew, I miss you. My music's my therapy, healing my issues. I smile at the sun and I put away tissues. I know that I miss you. This alcohol gets you. I really want love, self-esteem, confidence, everything's gone. Now that I'm sober, it's like everything's won. You're physically gone, but live in my heart. Healing depression with art. Don't be so hard on yourself, it's a part. The process we start, I'm alone in the dark. And perspective sees light, then you know you're not far. You're not alone, but you feel like you are. Close your eyes and imagine the stars. Never give up, you're stronger than you think you are. I know that it's hard, but it's okay. It's okay, everything's 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 okay. It's okay.
I want to thank Snap Murphy for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and an awesome music video. If you want to know more about him, click down below one of those social media links. Probably just go to his website. And if you want to see more videos like this, click up there. If you want to subscribe, click over there, ring the bell so you get notified when I post new things. And if you want to hear my own music, which is definitely not hip-hop, click over there. Remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, Snap.
See you guys later. Goodbye. And thanks, Room 6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum.
Bow.
There's always one.